like when I was growing up, I was involved in a lot of gang culture and things like that. So graffiti kind of saved me. It was like a way of getting away from a certain life life I was walking. It was like an escape.
Killa Kela podcast. KillaKelaOfficial.com.
Killa Kela podcast live show. Step into the live and dangerous world of music and street culture's #1 magazine platform, the Killa Kela podcast live show. Special guests alongside performances, news, reviews, profile pieces to a live studio audience. Your monthly live stream is here. Hit Facebook page Killa Kela Official.
Instagram UK Frontline.
Beatbox created.
Killa Kela.
And we're here to talk about world music and street culture.
Killa Kela podcast.
There we go. Legacy holders inside the ride. What? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Killa Kela podcast transmitting to you, as usual, the same place, same area of conscience. And yeah, it's that graffiti time. Big shout out to Graffiti Kings inside the place. And all area crew that subscribe, listen. Yeah, you know what to do. So repeat, I repeat, do not sleep on my repeat, subscribe, alright? And don't get my words jumbled up, alright? We have a very, as you can hear by the chuckle, we got a happy man inside the place, and believe me, I'm happy too. Long time, bro.
Yeah, long time, bro, man.
This is the mighty Taste inside the place. What's good?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Long time, bro.
How are you?
Yeah, not bad, you know?
You staying out of that trouble life?
Yeah, man. Trying to.
Strictly the heritage shit right here. Bro, I'm trying to work out, well, we kind of brushed on it a little bit, like how long we've crossed paths for, and, you know, with hip-hop jams or, I mean, Jesus, record
mutual
stores,
friends.
mutual friends. It's pretty mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty mad. And, yeah, I don't think we've actually ever hung out sociably on a level of, hey, let's sit down and chat.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, your tag is synonymous with an era to me that celebrates that UK hip-hop, UK club, underground. I just remember coming up at that time.
Yeah.
And I think you resonate with that as well, don't you?
Yeah. What can I say? Fucking hell, mate. It's like graffiti, hip-hop, everything, mate. Been around for years. What can I say?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy to think that when this whole thing started for us, it was a very different landscape. You know what I mean? Like, we was youngers.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's take it back. Take it back to your beginnings. Like, where did it all begin?
Well, where it began for me is, I think from school. I used to go to Jeffrey Chaucer School. There was quite a lot of writers in my school at the time who were active in the day, like writers like Pose, TK. Like there was a crew from Peckham, from Gloucester Estate, called NSR, Never Stop Rocking. So I knew writers like Mash, Spaz, met various writers through them. Screamer used to live upstairs to me, Screamer RCS.
What?
So I knew a lot of them, Screamer. Then I used to hang around with Mascot's cousin, Basic, in my time. I used to roll with a writer called Wasp, who used to be SBS when I was probably about 12, 13, when I started getting into it. Then one of my other co-defendants at the time was a writer called Scribbler, RCS.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, so that's when I just
These are all names, man, I remember back in the day.
So this is when I was just getting into the game. So we'll talk about 1990 to 92.
Numbers, bro. Like we said we weren't going to do numbers. But hey, 90s teen. It's the 90s, like...
Yeah, the early 90s. That's when I first started getting into the game. And then by the time 93, 94, so I become really active. Started getting all city.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of writers. I used to hang around for, like, say, 94 when I started to go hard. I used to hang around with Curve, writer called Curve.
Yeah, I remember that name.
And I used to roll with a writer called Moet from AVZ, Artistic Vandals, one of Condemn's boys.
Wow.
So all we used to do is drink, racking, getting paint, going country, going all over, just messing it up.
Do you know what I find interesting is generationally, and you definitely fall into this generation group, where the integrity of how you got by in life, it really was a lifestyle choice, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely a lifestyle. It's definitely a lifestyle. It's like, you survive anyhow. As a writer, if you're a real writer, you can survive. You get what I'm saying? Everything pretty much you was getting for free anyway.
What about, actually, you're a really good person to ask about this. What about, like, the basic amenities? Like, because there is this, you know, warm, fuzzy idea in my head that, you know, you guys are just kind of just survivors. But there are some logistics here, like where do you sleep? Where you know, if you're racking stuff all the time, like where do you lay your head to bed? How's that work?
What do you mean by that?
Well, because I've talked to some people and they didn't even live with their parents; they were homeless.
I left home at a young age. I left home at 15. Went to a children's home at 15.
Right.
So I got my first council flat when I was 17.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was pretty much, always had my own places. Well, I've been there, done it, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you get in situations, lose your place, you might be homeless for a while, get back on your feet. It's the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess graph became the crutch that allowed you to always, just playing out in the background, you always had a social group, a family, a creative outlet, a thing that you do, something that kind of keeps you.
Well,
keeps
when
you
I
moving.
was younger, I didn't really get on with my family, so I was pretty much, once I was there out on my own, I was pretty much on my own.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
At the time, I didn't know. It probably made me the person I was, innit? Like, because when I was very young, I was very bad-tempered. You get what I'm saying? Weren't the nicest people when I was younger.
Angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
yeah.
was always into trouble. I was into trouble, violence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I get you. I mean, these are mirrored scenarios that I think that come with subcultures, don't they? That it's such a mixed bag of people, and I always find it really interesting how this one element allows different, you know, classes and people on the social tiers to just suddenly fucking get together.
Yeah, I know what I mean. Walks of different lives and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Like Arrow is a very different person to you.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And then there's, you know, I mean, the list goes on. Harry Conway, you know, which I also actually, you know, Xerx and that era. I see you very much within that generation as well.
What was that?
Yeah, like your generation of graph. It kind of, Umbrella's such an. I know you're talking about 90s at the moment, but like, I always associate you with so much of the other generations as well.
Yeah, like, because I don't think I ever really stopped writing. I was always hardcore, innit? So I would say at least 25 years I was hardcore. So I was through a lot of generations, always there, innit? Because I'd never stopped.
Yeah.
It's only last 5-6 years I've been quiet.
So you were in and out streets here and there. You had council flats, and you were just like
Yeah,
doing
I was
the whole
going
thing.
in and out of jail a lot of times as well, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aggressive as a
Yeah. GBH, ABH, done a lot of jail sentences.
Yeah.
At age young, 18.
What's I mean, mate, hindsight's 20/20. You know, we're older now.
Yeah. Times change.
Times change.
You grow up,
Yeah.
get older,
Yeah,
wiser.
Some of us kids, some of us have kids. You know, some of us have
Some of us don't wisen up.
Yeah, well, yeah. Some of us have podcasts, you know. But yeah, and yeah, it's always like that, isn't it? And you know, as long as we're learning, as we grow, and you know, things are forgiven. But anyway, moving on a little bit, you were fundamental from what I, again, as a young person, riding the trains, tracksides, like your name was there in amongst DDS, in amongst FDC, in amongst...
Yeah. Well, no, a lot. Both of the crews a long time, and like, to be fair, like, not knowing that people like the FDC guys I've known for a long time, since '93, innit? Like, I met all Dyer, so all them guys from Curve in the early days, innit? So like, they were, because I'm from South East London, innit? So them, you know what I mean? You always bump into them kind of people. You know what I mean? As I was growing up, just coming up, innit?
Yeah. Those guys, I always feel, and this is through podcast conversations, I feel like they used to be really embracive of like younger, newer, more. They don't know. It just became the FTC guys were quite, you know, embracive of new talent and new artists, didn't they?
Yeah. They brought up a lot of things. I think they made a mark in their area, innit? In Croydon.
Oh, Croydon area was crazy. Yeah. Did you take influence from a lot of the writers that were within that time, you know, that FDC?
Nah, because my time was before that, innit? Like, my influence, me growing up now, was people like Regret. When I grew up, like, because I was from Peckham, like, they were, like, one of the infamous writers at my time when I was growing up was people like Regret. And even Cash was up a lot of places when I was growing up. You know what I mean? When I was looking at Graph.
Was Drax up a lot round? Was Drax up a lot around that time?
Well, Drax, I always used to see him up, but I used to always see him up pretty much like places like, as soon as you pass London Bridge, like Shoreditch, Dalston.
Vamp said this.
Any time you pass that Shoreditch mark, you can go anywhere without seeing his tags everywhere, throw ups, everything. He battered the roads when I was younger. I used to see him up everywhere. But yeah, and writers I used to see up when I was getting up, when I was younger as well, was people like Rate, Sham, Sub. They were like, and you know what I mean? They were artists we used to see up everywhere as me growing up, before I even really got into the game. You know what I mean?
Really?
People like you'd see, you know, and Stax as well was another writer.
Yeah. What was your first? What was the impulsive thing? Because, like, let's bear in mind, like, your notoriety of that time. You know, what impulsed you to, like, just take the can or take the pen? What was it?
I knew writers and people were doing it, so
it was really a clique. It was like an association to that.
Yeah. It was just a circle I knew, and people were doing it. And I just jumped into it.
Yeah. Any fear initially?
No, I didn't have no fear for it. No.
Because it was.
Well, I remember the first time I got on tracks, I had a bit of fear on that first time. But after that,
What was that feeling like when you know, that those first initial, whether it's like hitting a Hall of Fame where you're just like, oh my God, I could get gripped, or going onto a train, or going onto trackside and going on, you know, any of those examples, like, what's the feeling?
Well, the best way I can put it is like being a virgin. You don't know. You don't really know what's going on, innit?
Yeah.
The first time you're on track.
Oh!
So you...
I don't know, man. I ask because I have no clue, and you know,
And I jumped on the tracks in the daytime.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You couldn't even fucking bet. I couldn't even imagine anyone ever doing that right now. That's madness.
But I'll tell you what, the first time I ever met Curve and Moet, I done a train in Bellingham layup, and this is daytime, when I got on the platform at Catford Station, then Moet and Curve saw me going onto the platform, then they come to me and asked me if I write it, and that's how I met them.
That's how you met them, and that's how you and then you guys just like click.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's like bonding.
That was probably late 93, about late 93.
It's crazy to think how long you were active for. Crazy.
Yeah, it's to do like in them times. It was easier to do it day times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like times changed, things got harder. Yeah. You know what I mean? Then they won't leave trains and depots and day times as the years went. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things changed. When I was a little kid, I used to do bait things. I didn't have no fear. Just bombing insides, district lines, purple fibbings, Pat train, didn't give a shit.
Did anyone ever like try and, altercate, like try and stop you from doing something?
Nah, I think I was a bit too wild as a kid, man. I was a bit too wild.
People could see in your eye that you were just like...
Yeah, you know what I mean? Obviously, you might get someone getting off the train, I might tell the driver, but not blatantly in your face.
Really?
Not when I was that age, anyway.
Really? Well, it might be maybe the fear dissipated. Something, I guess, that...
I was always drunk anyway. You know what I mean?
I was about to get serious on that one. Yeah. I was lashed anyway. You know? I mean, this is the funny thing. It's like maybe it's a case that, you had a lot going on anyway. So there can be... You're faced with so much shit in a day. The last thing you worry about is like whether you're going to get fucking tapped on the shoulder while you're doing something on a train, drunk.
Yeah. But when you're that age, 15, 16, if you're drunk, you don't give a shit about things like writing. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. When I was young, I was doing other stuff. I would be more worried about getting caught. So I sounded like graffiti at that time. You think it's nothing.
Do you think that happens a lot still now? Do you think there's a lot of that?
Well, now it's like they take it serious now, isn't it? Like you're hearing writers getting caught now. They get in jail for 2 years, 3 years. You know what I mean? You don't even get that for more serious things.
Yeah. That's a scary...
You know what I mean? You can get 2-3 years for ABH.
It's a scary notion, isn't it?
People have it as a passion, isn't it? It's a passion. So people don't think about the worst, isn't it? When you got the passion for something.
No.
Think about the worst when it happens.
Do you think people are happy that do graph? Do you think they're inside happy?
I think a lot of times, sometimes graffiti is escape for things, no matter what it is in life. Yeah, you know what I mean. You could be going through like when I was growing up, I was involved in a lot of gang culture and things like that. So graffiti kind of saved me. It was like a way of getting away from a certain life I was walking. It was like an escape. But at the same time, when you're going through things, it was like, like how music, gets away certain pains. Like graffiti is like a thing like that. For some people, it's like a healing, isn't it?
Yeah. Was that like that for you?
It was for me, yeah. Definitely was for me. I can't speak for everyone, you know what I mean? Everyone's different.
Yeah, everyone is different. I think people jump in at different times of their lives as well.
Yeah.
It could be the outro of something or the intro of something. If they're with a certain peer group, and they pushed into one direction, then they'll go that rough life. If they're, if they're more creatively inclined, and then they happen to buck with, someone like Moet, and then, all right, cool, let's, and then that changes the whole purpose, isn't it? That feeding that output of aggression.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean? Again, we're talking in hindsight here, in retrospect, and I remember seeing you up on track sides, and it was just it's a rife time for you, man. There was a lot of things going on around that time that I don't think could ever be repeated. Repeated in the same way. There was a berserk hysteria to just intense. Find your space within the tags and dubs of the wall and just get it in there. And if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like rapid, lots and lots, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was a lot of writers about. I think definitely in the 90s to the early 2000s, there was so many active writers that I can't see that much active writers how it was in that time. There must have been at least 100 active writers in that time.
And I don't see the same ones. They dwindled. They diminished, those numbers, didn't they? I guess as you get older, like again, I was just saying, as you get older, you find other things that heal you or fix you, or you get a hobby and or kids. Or shit.
I just think like the old times, no matter if you was out on the lines, that to do that, you would bump into writers or. Writers would bump into you. It's like many occasions. There's one time I done an all-nighter. One time at Elephant on my own got on a train, bumped into Touch, Pies and Plug and all that, coming back from an all-nighter. You know what I'm saying? They came back from one yard, I done my mission, and we've happened to bump into each other like 5, 6 in the morning on a train.
And yet, listen, you know, this isn't normal shit, man. You don't just bump in a city like London. You just don't bump into your mates. You know, it just doesn't work like that. You know.
Well, I think that's how I think graffiti was really active then. It was just like a normal thing, bumping into writers. Well, I don't think you'll get that back. How it was.
Do you miss it?
Yeah, I do. Definitely. I had some good times. I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't change it for the world.
I like going to some spots and just knowing that you know. I know you don't do walls or anything, but I love it when I see like Zom and Plug and them guys all just like doing a jam somewhere on a, you know, in an area like Brick Lane or something. It's like, I love that shit.
Yeah,
You know, it just says to me, yeah, man, like these guys, like, they're flying a flag of a time, and they're just still happy to like hang out and shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Still doing their thing.
Yeah, definitely. If you've got time, a lot of time, as you get older, certain people just haven't got the time to do it as much as they want to, innit? It's just like, as you get older, bills to pay, everything else.
Yeah. And girlfriends, or boyfriends, depends if you're a girl writer, but girlfriends, they like security. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
There's nothing real secure about somebody like, oh, I'm just going out. See you later. See you this time tomorrow morning. Do you know what I mean? It's quite a tall ask, isn't it?
Because they don't trust you, innit? Women can't trust men, innit?
well, I mean, it really depends on the. But yes, I think there's a lot of security that you know partners need. Yeah, and I've heard in the past it never really works out. That's a real fucking lifestyle, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, like graffiti for me back in the day was like a 9 to 5. Just live, sleep, eat it.
See, and that is just crazy to me. Like the idea of like it being more than a pastime. That's like really getting under inside you. It consumes you.
Yeah, definitely. It takes over you, man.
It isn't just the paint on the wall, is it? It isn't just the paint on the
I find it's the lifestyle, isn't it? It's the lifestyle. For my generation, anyway, the generation I know, it was all about racking, making money and everything else with that style, wasn't it? With writers.
Making money to survive by racking,
Yeah.
Yeah. The live it how you talk it.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? The generation I know, that everyone is pretty much getting everything for free. Either if it's video cameras, phones, clothes.
Yeah. What's in this generation now, or your generation when you was doing the thing?
I'll say, you know what I mean?
I think it's a different thing. I know what you mean, though.
Yeah.
Like, there was a hustle that you had, and nowadays...
People I used to socialise and hang around with, innit? From the late 90s to the early 2000s, innit?
They had a different hustle.
Everyone's just making money, innit?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it felt like a time where you could be exploitive. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean by that?
Well, the naivety of it all. I think it being an American culture, taking over the world like that, I think people just weren't ready for it.
Yeah.
It's like, you can be quite exploitive on this, like, you know. Do you think, as a British scene, we connect with Europe?
What do you mean by that? Like that style? I don't think we...
I'm going to be controversial now.
I don't think we got the same style.
Nah, I'm about to get spicy. Spice time. I'm going to put a sign that says spicy. Spice o'clock. Nah, because I think stylistically there is a similar pattern, more like of a wild style, older school attitude to European graph, where London just didn't really adopt it in the same way.
Nah. London didn't, man. I think a lot of London writers, I think that proper writers were just basic lettering.
Yeah.
Letters you can understand.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
It's just the culture. I think it's just the London culture, just the way it went.
Yeah. Do you think it's like the same with music, isn't it? Like, When they had rock and roll, we had punk. When they had rap, we had grime. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's a case of we take things and reinterpret it.
I think we're very stubborn people.
We really, yeah, dude. Dude, I'm so glad you said
We're
that.
stubborn. We like our own thing. We don't like to have something what's like related to something. We like to have our own original thing.
Yeah, we do, and
and that's music with everything.
yeah, totally. Do you think like we are respected for that in Europe? Or do you think we're kind of disconnect because we don't play to the style parameters?
I don't think so. I think we're respected for it.
Yeah.
I think even now, when you look at it now, like look how long we've been doing the hip hop music, and right now America are really looking into our hip hop and our music now, and they're respecting our craft now.
yeah, because I guess because we re-export it into a different thing and we flip it. Because when I think about the things that are happening now in Graph, I feel it's coming to a compromise in terms of what's new in other areas. I think the internet plays a big part in that, to be fair.
Definitely, internet.
Who do you think is the most influential writer? You know, whether it's commercial, non-commercial, in your mind right now, who do you think is the most influential?
What for the whole? Well, for my time, people I can say is people like Zombie and Shoe 2 and Sub. They're like 3 artists I can really say, and maybe Form 72, Sham. They're like for my generation, they were the top writers. What I look done a lot for this graffiti culture.
Form and Sham, man, like they, yeah.
For my time, my generation, you know what I mean? I don't know about the time before, but that's my generation, who I used to look to.
I know Sham for a long time, bro. He used to do my merch for me.
Yeah.
Back in the day on tour.
Yeah.
He used to come with me on road and do merch.
Oh, okay.
It's mad.
Yeah.
And we did we've done loads of shit. Loads of live stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
On losing track. What about now though? What about in this day? Who do you think, like, I feel like when you see the crew things pop up, like One Up, Mowers, do you think they hold quite, like, it seems like that whole kind of crew collective thing's coming back? Are you sensing that?
I had a lot of rating for Nima because he done a lot of shit in his time, innit?
I think Nima.
I knew him as well, so I thought he was alright person. A lot of people didn't like him.
It's because he's not from London. I think a lot of that is, isn't it? But not that I know. I've got no fucking hold on claws. I know nothing about nothing. All I know is that I'm a fucking fan of all this shit. I'm fucking lucky to have a chat with you about this. So as far as Nima goes, you're saying
he smashed it in his time,
bro. I'm saying like very few. I mean, there is a legacy in many writer that we will probably never see, which is a real disappointment. But for some reason, I always feel like Nima was a lot more well documented. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know what? I just find sometimes like a lot of our times was very like we didn't document, we didn't care. It like we would be going yard and not even care about cameras or photos. Yeah. It was just the journaling of going to yard and just hitting it. You didn't care about cameras. I didn't give a damn about any of that. Really? I can't even remember. I can't remember hardly taking any pictures.
You've been done for graph though.
Yeah, loads.
So what I'm saying,
I had like in the time when PC Taylor and Spencer were around, they were on my case for years.
Right. This is interesting. I mean, obviously, and again, just highlighting the retrospect of it all. But I just feel like that documentation thing's it's a fucking shame. Think about those Kodak moments that just part of.
There was a few writers that did take a lot of stuff. I know that. So.
But it's history, like it's London history. Like no matter how much you decorate the criminal aspect of how fucking bad it was, or the circumstances in which it happened. It's like the truth is in those photos. The people that did it are fundamental in shaping the way even marketing's done now. Marketing is done now because of that.
Well, it's like one of those things. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah. You know, then you know. But look, man. I mean, let's fast forward it a little bit. Let's get into the noughties and whatnot, because there was this like I was saying, Zerks and the Toxes and Knees and DPM and them. There was a lot of newer school characters that were coming into the fold. I felt that they had a particularly like obviously Tox having like such a naive kind of style, and it was a bit crass. It became such an obvious tag. It became the obvious thing, and like that plays positive and negative to your mission, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
Like you can read it everywhere, so there's no doubt about it. That's him.
Yeah, well, Tox became a king, didn't it? He destroyed it.
Yeah.
You could not get on no line and not see Tox fuck up any outsides.
Yeah. Scarily so. Scarily so. What's your take on that? Because that naive style took a different twist, and Zerks, it was crass looking. It was a crass style.
To me, I was just a vandal and a bomber. That's what I class myself. Yeah, to me, it's about getting up, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're getting up doing your shit, just do it.
Yeah.
I was never a person who really cared about style. Me, it was just getting up, killing it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really. And then ducking out into the night sort of thing. Yeah. Who did you rate of that era, that time?
What era?
That era of the kind of early noughties, like that DPM Knees era. That.
Who can I say? Early 2000s. Well, Tox definitely.
Ozone was around as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, them guys done quite a lot as well. Yeah. And
so merging was ATG. They were starting to come through.
All Jose and all that were killing it in them times as well. On the districts and that. I can't even remember, who was just coming up at that time.
Did you rate the ATG thing? That it was like,
yeah, well, I think they come out. Did they come out early 2000? Was it a bit later than that?
I think it was a bit later, to be fair. I think it was like 2005, 6.
Because I didn't really see them up at that time like how they did a bit after. I might be wrong, innit? But
it was
I can't remember them early 2000s.
It was them and RT, wasn't it? Those guys really started. I remember they were doing that blockbuster like collab.
Yeah, because I know they were killing up like when ATG when the first. I think Rest was the first writer what I see killing it out of them lot, innit?
Yeah, and he was quite blocky. He was quite like.
I think he was the first writer who was really active out of them. Then I started seeing them later on.
That's interesting you say that, because now when I think about it, people slept on Rest. Sorry, they slept on Rest a little bit.
He killed it. But I think he stopped a bit before he stopped a while ago. That's why people forgot about him.
Yeah, and he was more like dub driven. It wasn't like I don't remember seeing a lot of pieces by him or anything. It was more
dubs bombing and that.
Yeah, he kind of ducked out quick. I was always impressed with the collective aspect of that team, and I liked the way they collabed as well. Jan really did. He really did put in the work for that, didn't he?
Yeah. I think there was a lot of writers about that time, man. But sometimes it's just hard to remember. He was just starting up them times.
Yeah. I mean, we're in the emergence of like technology being the way it is, and the who knows what of any of this shit.
Yeah.
On reflection, like it feels like each generation they push a boundary even more. It's almost like they react to the old guard and they still keep to the real, but they bring in something else. And I think a lot of it is socially and technologically driven. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or you might have certain crews who just like have that similar style and that.
Yeah, there's a lot of
like the new school crews and that you might have them like, having that similar style or that.
Yeah. Like like Nima when he was doing the pavilion style cone.
I never
tops.
used to even see him write with anyone. I used to always see him on his own.
Yeah. Well, he was TPG, wasn't he? He was TPG.
Yeah, but I can't remember anyone he used to write with. I just remember him on his own.
On his own style.
Yeah.
The whole time. Yeah. And there was something, out of ATG, I think Snore. Snore was an interesting character. You could see the funk, even in dubs.
I used to like Asset stuff.
Yeah. Asset had a thing, didn't he?
Yeah.
He really was like he always had ATG up.
Yeah. It's funny enough, the first time I went to Croatia in 2009, drinking at some bar, come out for a smoke, I see a fat ATG dub just on the side of some white thing opposite the bar.
And this is like, again, just going back to the Euro rock. They don't care. Like European countries, I think they just come to expect. Okay, don't fucking, don't tag the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Got it. We won't.
Yeah.
That's the mentality of a writer, right? But elsewhere, it doesn't even matter. It's just a mad one, isn't it?
As well, writers, when they get drunk, you know what I mean? Can't trust writers where they're going to write. I'm not saying no names. I took some writers to a studio, yeah, and a writer bombed up the booth.
Huh?
A writer bombed in the booth.
Nah.
And you know what I mean? The guy was pissed off. You get what I'm saying? He was pissed off at me because the studio he was renting, he got in trouble and weren't allowed to use it again.
Yeah, that's fucked. That's like so much disrespect right there.
I know, but you take writers to like bars and that. You tell writers not to bomb the toilets. What happens? Every writer bombs up. No, you can't take a writer anywhere.
Yeah. It's almost like they missed the first two words. Do not. But you know what I mean? It's just like okay, bomb the toilet. Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. Okay. We won't. But why do you think I don't get drinks in here? It's like I'm having this place fucking. I'm going to be able to disarm a drunk writer. Are you crazy? Yeah. What do you reckon the future holds for this shit? Like, as a peer, as an elder statesman of inner city London.
That all depends on the new writers. It all depends on their egos or well, maybe that's the wrong word. Like their drive, innit?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? To be honest, the early hardcore writer I've really seen up for the last couple of years is Force. He's the early guy I can say. He's just really active, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just reminds me of the old days when everyone was out there. It's early writer I can see who's proper active.
Yeah, bro, like, I'm not even playing, like, when I really break it down in my head, thinking to myself, I think it's him.
Yeah.
He's the work rate.
And Offski.
Yeah.
They're the early two writers I see, like, everywhere I go, I see them active everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might see all these new writers, but they ain't really hit the mark how they are. Like, I've seen a few new writers popping about like Wendy, Rowan. You get what I'm saying? These are new writers I see on my travels, isn't it?
Yeah. How often do you look out all the time? Is it?
Yeah, still look around the
constant,
graph. Yeah. Still looking for plots.
Yeah. Do you, yeah. You're like, if I knew but what about, like, on the train, you're looking out the window, and is it anyone that loves graph, we're like that. Headbangers do this, we do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
it would never change. If I think a real writer, that never goes for you, innit? That never goes for you. Even if you stop writing for 10, 15 years. I've known writers that stop 10, 15 years.
And they're still...
And they might just not write for 10, 15 years, and they all of a sudden they want to do some graph.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that. I was speaking to Mir about that. He absolutely loves the fact that he could be about his business, thinking to himself, damn, I wish my guy could come back. And all of a sudden, they're back. Yeah. Because I think the paint's changed, the energy nowadays has changed, and they see probably some guy that from back in the day doing it, so he'll come back. And it's like...
definitely sets off trends, I think. Like, I got to admit as well, like, now you talk about Mir, I remember when the Insides were getting killed, him and Ebbs set that trend off. As soon as they were hitting the insides, everyone was hitting the insides.
He was dude, he was a trendsetter.
You know what I mean? Like, from the Little Mets in the back in the day, I remember when they were killing it, everyone started going out there doing
Really?
insides. Everyone.
So, how much was an influence, Mir?
But I've seen him around for years, isn't it? It's like,
He's just-
definitely he's always been there.
Just
Definitely.
constant. He's a constant.
Yeah.
I love that. He's undeniable as well. I've said to people, like, if someone's got beef with Mia, I mean, this is subjective, and it's my personal opinion, but I think there's something wrong with them because he's a geezer. He's just always done his thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't imagine anyone having a bad blood about him.
Certain, you know what I mean? Certain people know who to beef with and who not to beef with. And
Yeah, like me is like he's pioneered shit.
yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Who else would you say is up there like that?
It's too many rights.
Too many, innit?
Too many.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's too many writers. You know what I mean? Who's lived that life, been around a long time.
Mm.
So many writers.
Yeah. Do they ever leave your mind? Sometimes you're like, oh shit, I remember that geezer. Oh fuck.
Definitely. It's like either like, well, when I was growing up, like that FDC guy Kongs, he used to write shreds.
Yo, cons.
Yeah, he used to write shreds, and I just remember me when I was younger, like him and Scar were everywhere on the district lines.
Yeah. I've got 3 names that only the other day I thought to myself, fuck, what happened to those guys? Okay? Right. The first one was Shah. See,
Char.
Yeah. And I bumped into him at Flex. I couldn't believe it. I was like, dude, but my
He
second
works there now, don't he?
Yeah, he smashes it. Right. Yeah, he's coming on the show. The second one, Zelda.
Oh, Zelda, yeah, I see him. I bumped into him last year when I was working, actually, in Baker Street.
I've never met Guy.
Yeah.
But I just remember him being, really reasonably prolific in the South, man.
Yeah, we used to go out there raising and everything for years.
My third one, Hito.
I've never met the guy, but I remember him always being up for late 90s, 98, them times. They will run Northwest, West Hampstead, Kentish Town.
That's right.
And it's funny enough you say that. When me and Zonk were in Croatia, soon as we got to Croatia, we got off a train and there was a Hito and Crocs train running.
Stop.
Yeah.
See, I don't know what England's got to worry about. Like, Europe, whoa. I mean, that's so fucking... It's mad, isn't it? I say that name and it's like...
Zagreb.
Zagreb. Oh. You still go out there, mate? You still go out?
Well, I know
on holiday?
people out there. I ain't been there for... When was the last time I went there? I think about 2 years was the last time I went there.
So not so much travelling nowadays?
Yeah, I'm always travelling. Last year I was in Germany, Prague, Budapest.
You love travelling, you're travelling
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, brother, listen, it's a fucking pleasure to have you on. And I've really enjoyed the nostalgic trip. I love it. I love these ones.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, I mean, I love the nostalgia of it. And yeah, I just feel like you represent a real inner city, such as like that I don't often have on here. So I really appreciate you passing through.
Thanks, man.
My G.
Safe.
Unlike
Break up
you.
the studio.
Yeah, let's see. He comes in. He may not be able to use his marker pen, but he certainly does. Don't knock it down. You know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen, he's inside the place. Thank you very much, brother.
Nice one, bro.
That's it. Killa Kela podcast, and you know what it is. Only giving it to you raw, all right? Subscribe. Show, tell, love, spread. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You know what it is. Stay lucky, people. Stay out of trouble.
Big up.
Peace.